All right. Lastly, I just saw that I'm kind of running out of time, but I need to talk about the main themes and the use of symbolism, and I want to take those two headlines, you could say, and you analyze them at the same time, basically. Basically, you have three main themes, and I want to underline the three main themes with three uses of symbolism in the book. Um, the main theme is the class difference. As I mentioned earlier, West versus East egg, old versus new money. Basically, you have this Jay Gatsby who is and Nick come from kind of a poor family. Well, Nick was actually doing well, but he came to New York to make that new money to get rich. And at a party, they actually says, "Don't you know it? New money does not beat old money. Basically, how no matter how rich you get now, the old money you have, the old status and social fame that you had, will always be greater to that." Now, West Egg was this West Coast where there's more, they're a bit more poor than East Egg where it's more posh. And Nick always feels disconnected and detached from East Egg, although that he tries to make the money to become an East Egg resident. And Gatsby, although that he's super rich, he's actually also in his heart West Egg. So there's a huge class difference between the East Eggers, Jordan, Tom, and Daisy, and then Nick and Gatsby. And if we look at it as Nick and Gatsby being Scott Fitzgerald, well, maybe Scott Fitzgerald also felt that pressure that he was always never going to be able to fit in with the richer people. Second theme is the fall of the American dream. Now, Gatsby is the living definition of the American, not living, but the pure definition of the American dream in being super, super poor, coming to a part of America and just getting insanely rich through hard work and dedication. And I want to underline that with the green light. The green light is used to show our dreams and hopes. The green light is there every night in Gatsby's life, and he tries to reach out and kind of grab it, symbolizing his dream of getting Daisy, because the green light's from the dock that Daisy lives in, the house, the dock Daisy lives in. Great. But as I mentioned earlier, we have this super, super high focus on material wealth, and we forget morality, and we forget to love each other. And the American dream seems to be this huge illusion that no matter how rich you get, no matter how much you fulfill the American dream, just like Gatsby did, he's miserable. He's super miserable. He still wants to reach out for that green light, his true dream, which is Daisy, and he's never going to get it. So it does not help him to chase this American dream, which is also this jazz age, was all about material wealth and just drinking away your problems. But people were so miserable and sad. Pardon. Third theme is the degradation of society, which is basically that society as a whole, we're supposed to live with each other, our neighbors, and we need to to be a bit Christian maybe, to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Well, in this society, in this jazz age, in the lost generation that Scott Fitzgerald found himself in, morality and loving each other was just gone. There was no society whatsoever in the sense that it were humans. It were basically just animals living besides each other, just wanting to make money, and would basically at any cost get that money. Drinking away your problems, forgetting everything with buying fancy cars, going to huge parties, but inside you do never have true happiness. Um, and society as a whole just falls apart. Um, and well, what's the consequences of these? Basically, you could say awful acts, heinous acts, where you're just willing to do everything to get the money. Well, we have the eyes of T.J. Eckersberg in the Valley of Ashes, which I mentioned earlier. Valley of Ashes is a place where there's super many poor people, and we have these East Eggers, Jordan, Tom, and the rich Jay Gatsby driving through the Valley of Ashes, seeing all these poor people. They don't care at all about these people. They just want to get more money, get into the city, and spend that money to become happy. And every time they drive through the Valley of Ashes, sorry, I'm super sick. excuse me. While they drive through these Valley of Ashes, there's the eyes of T.J. Eckersberg looking down, kind of the eyes of God, which reminds me of the book called 1984 or 1884. I think it's 1984, the Big Brother whole kind of system. And the eyes actually are looking exactly at where Daisy ends up driving into Myrtle and killing the Myrtle. God is watching basically, and no matter how much you pursue wealth, how much you pursue the American dream, if you forget each other and you forget to love and care about each other and the morality of the whole world and being human, well, you're gonna get punished. And Gatsby forgot that. Daisy also forgot it, but she doesn't get that punished, you could say. But basically, that everything has consequences, and these eyes are looking down and judging you at all times. So, in conclusion, wrap up the whole analysis. I'm going to be super quick because I'm super over time. The Lost Generation, the Jazz Age. Basically, you want wealth, you want fame, you don't care about people. Scott Fitzgerald lived in this time, was heavily affected by it. It can be clearly seen that Nick and Gatsby has huge problems dealing with happiness, true happiness, and drowns it out in this wealth. Well, Scott probably had the same problem. The main characters, and Nick as the narrator, we have the main characters Gatsby, Daisy. I want to say kind of Daisy, but it's Nick and Gatsby, and Nick telling us about the story about himself and Gatsby, but Nick is an unreliable source, unreliable narrator, and you should not believe everything he says. Therefore, we don't actually know if Gatsby was as great as the Great Gatsby. And the main themes in this book, well, we have the class difference, East versus West Egg, and old versus new money, and that you can never actually become one of the East Eggers just by getting rich quickly. You need to have gotten rich previous years and inherited the money and all that. There's the fall of the American dream. We forget each other, we forget true happiness, and we drown it out in booze and money. And then at the end, follow up on the fall of the American dream, the degradation of society. Persons being careless and almost evil to each other, and really disrespecting and not taking care of each other. The Valley of Ashes portrays the class difference. The green light is our dreams and hopes, that even though that Gatsby dies, the green light still lives, the dreams are still there, and he's never going to be able to reach them, no matter how far he reaches out with his arm. And at the end, the eyes, T.J. Eckersberg, God looking down on people, and how everyone is becoming bad and careless people in this in this jazz age. Great, that was the video analysis of The Great Gatsby.